Welcome to the Black Mesa Hazard Identification course. Let's get started on your safety journey. In this video, we will learn to identify pictograms from the NFPA, DOT, and GHS standards, recognize potential hazards, understand signal words, and finally, watch a precautionary tale. The National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA Diamond, provides basic information for personnel responding to fire or spills. It is divided into 4 distinct color sections. The top 3 sections designate hazard levels between 0 and 4, 0 being non-hazardous, 4 being the most hazardous, while the bottom square identifies the hazard type. To create a label and material classification in accordance with Appendix A, Health and Hazard, and Appendix B, Physical Hazard, refer to 29 CFR 1910.1200. The blue square identifies health hazard levels. 0. Normal material. 1. Slightly hazardous. 2. Hazardous. 3. Extreme danger. 4. Deadly. The red square identifies the fire hazard level. 0. Will not burn. 1. Will burn above 200 degrees Fahrenheit. 2. Will burn below 200 degrees Fahrenheit. 3. Burns below 100 degrees Fahrenheit. 4. Burns below 73 degrees Fahrenheit. The yellow square identifies the reactivity or stability of the material. 0. Stable. 1. Unstable if heated. 2. Violent chemical change. 3. Shock and heat may detonate. 4. May detonate at any time. The bottom square identifies the specific hazard, such as acid, alkali, corrosive, oxidizer, radiation hazard, use no water, or reactive to water, biohazard. Department of Transportation has 9 classes of hazardous materials, typically located on the back or sides of trailers or shipping containers. UN numbers, or UNIDs, are 4-digit numbers ranging between 004 and 3,534 that identify dangerous goods or hazardous substances, such as explosives, flammable liquids, or toxic substances. These numbers are assigned by United Nations Committee of Experts on Transportation of Dangerous Goods and are listed on the SDS, or Safety Data Sheet. Goods that are not classified or regulated by the UN are given 4-digit North American numbers, ranging from 8,000 to 9,279. These numbers are designated by the United States Department of Transportation. Class 1 contains explosive products or potentially explosive products. 1.2. Products with the potential to create projectile hazards. 1.3. Products with the potential to create fire or minor blasts. 1.4. Products with no significant risk of creating a blast. 1.5. Products considered to be very insensitive that are used for blasting agents. 1.6. Products considered extremely insensitive with no risk to create mass explosion. Class 2. Flammable gases and non-flammable gases, as well as inhalation hazards. 2.1. Flammable gases. 2.2. Non-flammable gases. 2.3. Toxic gases. Class 3. Combustible liquids and flammable liquids. Class 4. Flammable solids or reactive to water. 4.1. Flammable solids. 4.2. Spontaneously combustible. 4.3. Dangerous when wet. Class 5. Oxidizers, organic peroxide. 5.1. Oxidizing substances. 5.2. Organic peroxides. Class 6 poisons. Toxic materials and inhalation hazards. 6.1 Toxic Substances. 6.2 Infectious Substances. Class 7 Radioactive Materials. Class 8 Corrosives. Class 9 Miscellaneous Hazards. Globally Harmonized Systems. The Globally Harmonized System, or GHS, has 9 pictograms to identify hazardous materials. All of the required information to create a GHS chemical label may be found in the product's GHS safety data sheet. There is no set format for a GHS compliant label, as long as the required components are present and the label is printed in color. Labels must be large enough for the writing to be legible. The product identifier is most often the common product name of the chemical and must match the product identifier in the SDS. A GHS pictogram consists of a black and white symbol surrounded by a red diamond. The hazard pictograms applicable to your chemical must be printed on the label in color. These pictograms are meant to warn hazardous chemical users about the potential hazards of the chemical. The 9 pictograms are as following: oxidizers, flammables, self-reactives, pyrophorics. Self-heating emits flammable gas, organic peroxides. Explosive, self-reactive, organic peroxides. Severe acute toxicity. Burns skin, damages eyes, corrosive to metals. Gases under pressure. Carcinogenic, respiratory sensitizer, reproductive toxicity, target organ toxicity, mutagenicity, aspiration toxicity. Toxic to aquatic life and the environment. Acutely toxic, irritant to skin, eyes, or respiratory tract, skin sensitizer, hazardous to the ozone layer. A GHS label must contain hazard statements. A signal word is used to indicate the severity of the hazards presented by the chemical, such as danger or warning. Danger indicates a more consequential hazard than warning. Labels for mixtures of hazardous chemicals must include the more severe signal word. Example: if one chemical requires danger and the other requires warning, danger is used as the signal word for the mixture. A hazard statement is the standardized GHS phrase assigned to the chemicals that describes the nature and degree of the hazards associated with that chemical. Every applicable hazard statement from the SDS must be included on the container label. Diesel, combustible liquid, harmful if swallowed or in contact with skin, causes severe skin burns and eye damage. Suspected cause of genetic defects. Suspected of causing cancer. May cause damage to organs. May cause damage to organs through prolonged and repeated exposure. Harmful to aquatic life. Precautionary statement is a standardized GHS phrase that describes the required protective measures that must be taken to prevent exposure and minimize the effects of exposure to the hazard. Precautionary statements directly related to the hazard statements assigned by the chemical base. Every precautionary statement is listed on the hazardous chemicals SDS, must be included on the container or sample label. A full list of GHS precautionary statements is available on OSHA's website. The supplier identification must include name, address, telephone number of the manufacturer or supplier of the hazardous chemical. Precautionary tales. sources